Hello everybody, welcome back on the Pursuit of Wealth. It's Rod with Powell Group, your home for MJ Stocks, crypto assets, news and interviews. Today is Wednesday, August 27th. We're going to get started here in about half a minute. We'll give it just a little bit longer here for people to jump on, a little bit of a last minute live stream. So just sit tight and we'll get started here shortly. I see we have tons of people rolling in. We got Mankey himself. How you doing, my man? We're going to get started here. Just give it another 15 to 30 seconds. I always go to start the live stream and I give myself like 5 minutes, 10 minutes, and then it's never enough. I'm trying to get everybody informed and aware that I'm going live, and it always takes longer than I expect. And then sometimes I run into computer issues, being slow. The worst is Facebook. Like, oh my God, that platform is atrocious. All right, so we're going to get started here. Happy Hump Day. It's August 27th. Again, it's Rod with Powell Group. Thanks again for joining us in the Pursuit of Wealth. And it's an exciting day. We posted a video yesterday. I went live. I said that Tilray regained Nasdaq compliance long before the Nasdaq even realized. But no, I'm sure they were watching. It just took them a little bit. They had to get their ducks in a row, and they're not just watching Tilray like we are. But no, we knew that they regained compliance, and I said yesterday that it would probably be 24 to 48 hours. So, you know, if you're not watching the space, if you're not paying attention, and it's not just MJ, right? It's any sector in the world. If you're only listening to mainstream media and following when the news comes out, you're usually long. And like, even case in point, today the stock was down, right? And after hours I didn't see any meaningful movement. But don't be surprised if the stock's actually down tomorrow, because everybody and their dog is going to rush to buy, right? So it's always the complete opposite of what you would expect. And we knew that this was more than likely going to be the case. And I will say kudos to Tilray. That was record time for breaking. You didn't even get to September 21st. You had to September 21st, and yet you were going to request a Nasdaq or Nasdaq extension to regain compliance. No need. You just kicked ass. Like, congratulations. So you probably have the best stock in the MJ sector. I'm very biased. It's my largest MJ portfolio holding. I'll fully disclose that. But at the end of the day, you know, Tilray, there's so many things going for it. I would say my second, well, it is my second biggest holdings, Curaleaf. And then I think my third one is now Oxley. I'm really digging Oxley, and just a lot of the traditional names that everybody loves, you know, like the Canopy Growth, the True Leaves, the Green Thumbs. I don't know. They're not doing it for me. But Tilray, Curaleaf, Oxley, they check all the boxes. There's a few others. Shout out to VFF and OGI and SNDL and all the other ones that I mentioned. And, you know, I interviewed Decibel today, but like, there's very few people doing what some of these companies are doing, right? And the only two that I can even, I would put them like in their own league, right? They're the major leagues, and everybody else is kind of figuring out T-ball, if you will. But the ones in major league right now are Tilray and Curaleaf. I've said this many times. It's the Tilray and Curaleaf show. And my biggest wish in life and in this sector would be for the U.S. to legalize it federally, of course, because it's the biggest capital market in the world, and it would be huge. But my second wish would be for Tilray and Curaleaf to merge, because then it would just be, again, I'm biased, my number one, number two holdings, so I'll be fully transparent, but their business overlaps so well, and they're targeting a lot of the same areas. And, you know, they just came out with, Curaleaf just came out with the Anthem and the pre-rolls there, and it very reminiscent of the Redecan Ready. So, and shout out to Redecan. But yeah, I mean, Redecan, Broken Coast, probably the two best brands in Canada, I would argue. And I would say Redecan's probably the number one. And it's an exciting day, right? We've all been through the ringer. We've all been through this gauntlet. We've all been through a brutal bear market of 4 or 5 years. That's still, well, it's finally coming to an end by the looks of it. We can see light at the end of the tunnel, but we've thought that many times. But this time I think really is different. We're seeing record monthly volume for Tilray on both exchanges, the major exchanges. So you're looking at the Nasdaq, which it just regained compliance for the minimum share price, and the TSX. So what more confidence do you need when the stock, like, it had no business being at 30, 40 cents, folks. Anybody with a brain, I'm sorry, I'm not trying to offend anybody, but anybody with a brain looking at, they had no net debt, right? They have so many brands, like they paid down their debt $100 million, and they've been focusing on, just surviving. And that's been a lot of the narrative. That's been a lot of the situation, right? The situationship has been surviving. And that has to do with a myriad of different factors, right? It has to do with government regulations. It has to do with a new nascent industry. It has to do with the illicit market. There's so many things we could probably list off 10 or 20, right? We don't want to sit here and provide excuses, but let's be honest. The governments that are our governments, they have not been our friends, right? We finally got legalization here in Canada almost 7 years ago, so thank God for that. But what the hell is going on in the U.S.? No one knows. Not even the U.S. knows. So it's a little ridiculous, and I'm gonna try not to get into it because it boggles my mind. I've seen what the U.S. political system has done to crypto. I've seen what it's done to MJ, and spoiler alert, it's way worse that they've done to MJ, right? But just seeing the sheer disregard for their citizens, for their people, right? They just do not give a crap about what you, the average American, want. That is the short answer, and like the whole truth of the matter is that they will do it when they're damn well ready. Not because of it's an 80-20 issue or a 90-10. No, 99% of their citizens, and they'd be like, hey, we make the rules. We're the 1%. We make the, you decide what, like, it's so dumb. It makes my brain hurt, and I can't even think about it for any longer. But I was thinking about this today. There's talks that there could be a whole bypassing of the Schedule 3 and go right to full descheduling. Could that happen? Yes, I believe it can. Chris Christie even said Trump will attempt to deschedule. Not my words, his words, right? But do you have a plan? Are you doing like what most people did on my videos and say, I'm going to buy Tilray after the reverse split? Well, here we are at $1.37 and they just regained compliance. No need to reverse split. So let's rethink our strategy here. So I see this time and time again. People are so just, they're acting out of emotions. They're acting out of fear. They're acting out of FOMO. They're acting out of whatever it is. It's not logic, right? And if logic was your friend, you would have been told there is no reverse split. All they're doing is seeking investor approval, which Canopy is doing the second time for a second reverse split, following in the footsteps of Aurora, which has already done 2 reverse splits. So, you have to come to, you have to wake up here, right? And say, most people in the cannabis industry are not financial gurus. You're not wealthy from the financial industry. You didn't make millions of dollars off of stocks. I would hazard a guess that less than 0.5% of retail investors listening to me right now, maybe even like 0.1%, made any money off MJ stocks. Okay? So to think that you can outsmart the market is a naive way of going about it. So why not just buy the lows and then understand the industry, learn where the world is going, learn that Canada, G7 country, legalized 6 years ago, going on 7, right? Germany, UK, Australia, France, Czechia, Poland, Slovakia, like they're all coming around, right? What more do you need other than a media headline, right? And that's why I made this video yesterday saying Tilray 10 out of 10 days regains compliance. And I got so many people saying, oh, I don't see any official confirmation of this. Oh, well, the Nasdaq could request 20 days. Like all this kind of BS that you never heard, like just pure stupidity, right? Like, and this is the only thing that you deal, like in the MJ industry, you don't deal with this in crypto, right? People in crypto are very sophisticated. They know financial markets for the most part. They're very sophisticated. They know tech, right? They've been through the ringer. But people in MJ just come in and they're like, gonna make money, yo. Like, no, it's like to think that you can outsmart everybody in the market and just, you know, it's kind of funny. And like, I was reporting on this 24 hours ago. In this video, I said 24, 48 hours, the next day or two, we could see the official confirmation. And then sure enough, today we get Tilray Brands successfully regains compliance with the Nasdaq minimum bid price requirement. And it says today, Tilray is again in compliance with the Nasdaq's minimum bid price requirement. And they received written notice. So how is it that Rod from Powell Group knew that they were going to regain compliance? Because I've been through this, folks. I've been in the financial industry for 15 years, going on 20 years almost. 2 decades. That means a third of my life, okay? And I get people on here like telling me, oh, well then, no, they didn't, there was no official confirmation. Like, I look at these charts and markets every day, these sectors every day. I run an investment community. Do you think you know more than I do? I'm not trying to toot my own horn, but it's just funny that, you know, people don't put this together. I'm like, how is it that you're coming to an investing channel, a finance channel, an MJ channel, and you're telling me? And I'm like, that's fine, but nothing you say has any, like, you're not grounded in reality. You're just in some fairy tale, like Never Land. But and then sure enough today, oh, how did I know? Because I've been through it. Like, how else would I know? Anyways, that's a long-winded way of saying welcome back. And smash the like, subscribe, all that good stuff. And you can follow us over on X, formerly Twitter. Handle for that is @GroupPow. And I knew that was going to happen. My dog, I was like, I normally put him outside the room. And then when I go live, an ambulance drives by. And then he just turns into an ambulance. I don't know. Maybe I just gotta have a... And it's so hot here today. I have to keep the window open because it's like 30-some degrees here in Edmonton. And I'm just like massaging myself with an ice pack because it's so hot in here. And to top it all off, with the cherry on top, my AC broke. So it's like, man, when it rains, it pours. So to go through this, we'll jump into the chart in a moment, and then we'll jump into the chat as well. All this mumbo jumbo we don't need to know. I already told people this. But Erwin Simon, who I've interviewed, says, and CEO of Tilray Brands, stated Tilray Brands is unwavering in its commitment to growth and innovation, and our progress reflects the strength of our global platform. As a leader in the intersection of MJ, beverage, and wellness industries, Tilray is redefining consumer products and driving innovation on a global scale. Our robust portfolio and international distribution network empower us to deliver innovative products and meaningful experiences to consumers, patients, and partners around the world. Together with all our stakeholders, we are building a future that meets consumer demand wherever they are across MJ, beverage, and wellness categories. Folks, Tilray sold products in 21 different countries last year. Think about that. There's the like the picture, the poster boys or girls, if you will, of the U.S. I don't even think they sell in 21 different states. There might maybe Curaleaf, it has the biggest footprint, but I don't even think they sell in 21 different states. And Tilray has built a behemoth. It's a complete, like, it's hard to really fathom how big this thing is going to be, because the 22, I think it's actually 22 countries, but in 2025 they sold product in 21. But you know, you got Italy coming online, France, all these, and they're front runners, right? And then like it just boggles my mind. Like Curaleaf CEO said, if to do what they have done with other peers in this space, so think of a Trulieve or a Green Thumb. If Trulieve or a Green Thumb were to just gain the footprint that Curaleaf has internationally, it would cost them about $400 million. That means their entire cash on their balance sheet. Okay? So you can't just look at it from a pure numbers perspective. There's a thing called early mover advantage, and there's a thing called difficult barrier of entry, and a competitive moat, and a competitive advantage. And I would say Tilray probably has the biggest lead out of anybody with the best adjacencies. And you got Benzinga over here smoking something other than schedule, well, it should be descheduled, but they're probably smoking something else on a schedule 1 that deserves to be on schedule 1 because their brain must be fully, completely shut off. Tilray eyes reverse stock split as Nasdaq listing compliance pressure mounts. To Benzinga, what the hell are you doing? This has to be the worst journalism that I've ever seen in my entire life. Like, this has been the front page for I don't know how long. Like, at least a week. I want to say at least 5 or 6 days, maybe even 7 days. Like, okay, I did notice that every second, like even right here, what's going on with Tilray brand stock. So every second article is Tilray. But what are you, owned by CNBC? Are you owned by mainstream media? Like, what are you? Are you just a complete shill for the market makers? Because your journalism sucks. As far as I'm concerned, you should be shut down. Like, I do not. It's so freaking bad. Like, oh my God, it makes my brain hurt. Anyways, but you come here for the truth. You come here for a day ago, I said they regained Nasdaq compliance, and I get so many people say, I didn't see any official press release. He's just making it up. And then people were telling me, no, but sometimes the Nasdaq can request 20. And I'm like, really? You're going to dispute me with this? After interviewing CEO after CEO after CEO in the space and following this industry for longer than anybody else that has. I've been following this since 2018, folks. Actually, 2017. I started my channel in 2018. I challenge you to find another one that's been covering the stock portion and business side of things longer than I have. And then today, all those trolls and, frankly, idiots just completely gone, right? And they're like, oh, well, shit, it's like you had a crystal ball. No, I have knowledge, education, and common sense, okay? Like, anyways, it's frustrating. And then you go over here to Benzinga, and it's like, if anybody listening to me right now liked Benzinga, I hope you don't anymore. Like this, okay, maybe they throw a good conference, but if their reporting is this bad, how good are their conference really? Are they biased there too? I don't know. I just can't stand the way that these companies report. And anyway, I'll digress because I could go on forever about that crap. All right, Tilray chart. So we had multiple bull flags. We had an hourly bull flag targeting 169. We hit 164 pre-market yesterday, and then a high of 155. We had a daily bull flag targeting 138. I rounded it up to 240. And now we have another one. So it's just been bull flag galore. So if we go from our low here to the high, as long as we hold 132, it's another daily bull flag. And bull flags are way more, like the odds of them confirming are way more likely when you're in a bull market and everything's raging bull in MJ right now. You should see the Palo Algo alerts going off on MJ stocks. It's crazy. But yeah, this one's saying 207. So we technically speaking, as long as we hold 132, we should be upwards of $2 in a hurry. So, you know, while we were down 5% today from the high of yesterday to the low of the day today, we're down 13%. We're still very healthy. We only just broke the low of yesterday by, let me just see here, 137, 2 pennies. So we barely even broke the low of yesterday. And I had some people freaking out, being like, oh, is this the end of the move? No, like we're still extremely healthy. So I wanted to spend a little bit more time on the first half, obviously, But yeah, Golden Cross still lining up over the next week or two, and I'm very confident that we're going to see. There's a petition going around to legalize MJ and bringing that to the executive branch and whatnot. But shame on you, Benzinga. Shame on you. That's terrible journalism and reporting. You should rethink everything that you do. Because, yeah, you piss me off. It's just the shit you see in this industry. And not only that, you know, I've been covering crypto, just watching the manipulation that runs rampant is something to behold. I'll tell you that much. Mankey made it. Yeah, you did. Pat on the back, bud. All right. Let's go through. Banky, happy days. General, glad to be over the average and out of the stress. Yeah, well, again, if you know what you hold, if you know the industry, if you know what financial markets are about, you would think, like, even if you know the sector, right? You're like, oh, I know MJ. But if you know that they did this to every single other sector that was burgeoning and upcoming and nascent, you'd be like, oh my God, you would expect it, right? So it's the same thing with anything that I see these days. Everybody's like, oh, the hydrogen plays and this play and that play and the AI. And I'm like, no, when everybody's crying on my YouTube channel saying, I lost so much money on AI and so much money on electric vehicles and so much money on this, then I'll start to buy. But, you know, that's the best signal, right? It's not share price. It's when 90% of retail investors are crying out saying I'm down and, you know, I'm down like 90+%. That's the best gauge of when to buy, right? You got Midia in the house. We got a bunch of YouTube members in the house. You got Violet. Good news. Oxley, let's go. Yeah. Wow. I'm surprised to see Oxley taking over at Tilray. That's usually the opposite. It won't drop below 135. I would never speak with conviction when it comes to financial markets. That's another thing. You never know what these market makers are gonna pull and have up their sleeves. Can't believe VFF compliance 2 MF times left them crazy. Yeah, so they took 2 times and took them way longer to regain compliance, and they had to request 2 extensions. Tilray was like, we're thinking about an extension. No need. Don't worry. We're like a month in. We're a month early and we regain compliance. And I even mentioned that to Erwin on the interview. I was like, don't you think it's a little early? Like, you could still do an extension. Yeah, who knows? If he retires, maybe I'll apply for Tilray CEO one of these days. Violet. No, I'm not a new holder, long-term bag holder. Yeah, there's a lot of those. Don't get me wrong. Tilray crashed already. Time of falling and crashing is over. The 1% Luciferians. Oh, the name is coming to an end. Mr. Market. Buy Tilray. Ask questions later. I wouldn't recommend that. I'd say do your due diligence and then buy. Maybe buy a little bit and then do more due diligence and do whatever you were gonna do. But relax. Yeah, it's people in Edmonton. Yeah, I have AC. Yeah, it's it normally works fantastic, but I just haven't had the time to get somebody out to look at it. Benzinga is AI. I wouldn't be surprised actually. $3 within, probably sooner. At 3.5, you'll regret it. Yeah, FOMO will really start to kick in around $5. Let's go, Rod. You'll be a rich man soon. Hold for a while longer. Yeah, I've already disclosed on the channel multiple times. I'm not here to make taco gains, and I don't need. I'm happy with where I am, and you know, I'm not here. This is more than me now, right? This isn't just about me achieving financial freedom. I've already had financial freedom for a long time. What I'm after is achieving financial freedom for my family, my immediate family, my family's family, and my generations to come, right? I'm not here for these taco gains. Yes, I do a little bit of day trading here and there and whatnot, but I'm honestly not here for these small gains, right? I'm here for something great, and I know that this. I've been following this industry more than I've been, like, longer than, like, majority of my life, right? And I know that it's all built on propaganda, bullshit, and lies, right? And it's all to for the betterment of big pharma, big alcohol, and tobacco, because they're being disrupted. And the same thing happened with crypto. The incumbents there, the banking institution, TradFi, they tried to hold it back for so long, right? They just didn't give a shit, excuse my French, about the people, right? It was politically motivated, and it's the way it always is. And it never happens when the people say it should happen. It happens when these almost dictators, and I'm not a fan of any side or color or whatever. I think all politics is just absolutely evil these days, and I can't stand any of it. Even in Canada, shouldn't have took that long. Shouldn't have took 2018 to legalize. That's ridiculous. But the fact that we did, okay, I'm proud to be Canadian and to lead on that front, and to show the rest of the world that, you know, this is very approachable. This is very commonsensical. And the fact that we still have people around the world disputing whether or not it makes sense, or it's good for you, or science, or is it more bad than good? Obviously, there's more bad than good in a lot of things. Like, come on. Alcohol is way more bad than good. Like, and the science proves it, right? But yet, the big alcohol industry is lobbying, right? And that creates more problems for the big pharmas, and then they profit, and then it's just a never-ending cycle. It's anybody who, like I said, anybody who studies how financial markets work, any new industry, any status quo disruptor, it's so obvious what they do. And yeah, I could go on forever, but anyways. You got Dallas, Texas. You order any Happy Flower down there, or what do you got going on there for Tilray drinks? Ottawa in the house. Hope today was just consolidation on the way up for Tilray. Yeah, like I said, we only lost the low of yesterday by 2 pennies, so I wouldn't even... It's not even consolidation. It's like basically a double bottom, right? $190. Michael, how you doing? Pal Group private community member. Yeah, so I go through the Pal Group private community members on top of the YouTube community, like the YouTube members, but there's no way for me to differentiate unless I see your name. But I know you are. I know who you are. So it's not because I'm skipping over. It's just the other ones are highlighted. They like show up in green, right? Oh my God, it's hot in here. I'm gonna have to take the hat off. Woo! It is scorching in Edmonton right now. It's insanely hot, and what a terrible time to have your AC shit the bed. 196 though gain on Tilray to date for this guy, and I bet you, knowing Michael, he's not he's no small player. He's got a he's got a moon bag. Can you explain what happened with GTI today? Yeah, I read it briefly. I mean, it's kind of weird. Like, the Tilray, he's the CEO of Agrify, he's the CEO of anyway, it's basically them trying to figure out how to beat Tilray. Is how I can explain it. And everybody wants to beat Tilray. So why do you think Tilray is the most watched stock on my channel? Not only that, like any other, like, look at mainstream media, like it's always the top. They're into all of the categories that everybody else wants to be into. Anthem was just launched by Cureleaf. It reminds me very similar of the straight edge pre-rolls that Redican had. And now and then Cureleaf also launched this like energy drink type style MJ beverage, which Tilray already did, was the first to market. And Tilray is the biggest market in terms of beverage in the US distribution. Like, it's insane, right? And now everybody and their dog is flocking to the beverage category. And how many people said, oh, the beverage category won't be big at all. It'd be like less than 1%, maybe 2% max. And now people are like 10, 20%. Like, I would just say that, yeah, I don't know. They got a long way to go. Tilray operates in double the countries that GTI does states. So I own GTI, but, you know, I'm also a fan of the truth. So good news. Appreciate your videos. Thank you. You bet, Mac. Love the Oxley fam. Oxley is gonna POP Grand Slam. Pop? 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 I was thrown off by the caps. Grand Slam any day now. Yeah, it's looking at 25 cents probably. Good evening, Tilray fam. Love to come on here, hang out with the Tilray fam for sure. Just move my, oops, that's not what I meant to move. What the hell is going on here? There we go. Just gonna move this so I can like look at the camera a little bit more. And oh my god, the heat. It's like 3 days of this now. And like my ice pack's not even cold anymore. Has it been this long? 30 minutes? Jeepers. All right, try not to pass out here midstream. I am long Tilray, but I would not be surprised if it dumps back to $1. Yeah, so you've got PTSD from MJ, right? that's what that is. But again, do we care? Like, do we actually care? Right? Like, are you gonna sell anytime soon? No. Like, are you like me? Are you a trader? I'm not selling anytime soon. Like, I'm not selling anything at all before $10. Like that, not a single share. So if Tilray goes to $2, $5, $7 tomorrow, nothing changes in Rod's life, right? If we go to $1, 30 cents, something changes. I'll probably add, and especially if crypto tops out, I'll rotate a crap ton of those profits into more beaten down MJ. So nothing in my life changes if the price goes up until we hit $10 minimum. But my life does change. Like, right, I'll buy more if we get to levels that is attracting me, or until crypto tops out, and then I'll rotate. Similar to what happened in 2017, 2018, when crypto topped out and MJ went on the biggest bull run of history. But again, are you here for? Are you trading? Are you here for 10x? Are you here for? You know, what is your goal? Like, you got to have an exit plan, and anything else is just noise, right? Understanding that this is so early. All right, let me scroll through. There's some conversation between members here. How far can the pullback go to keep the 230 bull flag? Great question. So there was another bull flag that formed today, as I mentioned. I probably mentioned that before I saw the comment. So I want to see 132 hold, at least here in the short term. But then after that, realistically, 96 cents. No major red. If we lose 96 cents, I'd be concerned in terms of like more bearish momentum. I wouldn't be concerned of my investment in Tilray, because I've done thousands of hours of research. Nobody in my... Elon Musk could show up tomorrow and be like, hey, don't invest in Tilray. I'd be like, you mean invest more, right? Like, I wouldn't care. Like, I know more than anybody else on this planet does about Tilray. So why am I going to ask anybody else for their recommendation on Tilray? Like, I guarantee you, I'm not trying to be showboating or whatever. Like, I know for a fact that I have more knowledge and more information, more coverage than Tilray than anybody else on the planet. Probably more than Tilray does itself. Like, you know, it's like, Erwin hasn't even been there. Though. Like, he came from Afria. Like, you know, I'm just kind of having fun. But, like, yeah. The proverbial God could come down from the sky and be like, do not invest in Tilray. And I'd be like, sorry, bud, you're on something else on Schedule 1. I'm just going to keep holding Tilray. Don't care what you say. But again, not everybody's going to do thousands of hours worth of research every day to make a video or two on Tilray and talk about Tilray in an investment community every single day, right? And I'm not doing that because I'm an investor. It's obvious. It's Afria, Tilray, Hexo, and Redican. What more do you need to know? Those were the 4 biggest companies, right? Everybody else, like I said, they're in the major leagues. Everybody else is just figuring out T-ball. They're like, what is this T-ball thing that's going on here, right? Oxley, I think, is making major moves, but like, I love Oxley. I'm an Oxley shareholder, but they operate in one country, right? Tilray, 22. So, again, we have to put our emotions aside, our holdings aside, what we want to happen aside, and call it for what it is, right? It is what it is. All right, I'm going to scroll through a little bit faster here. Hopefully, congrats Tilray holders. Soon we'll schedule 3 and 3 to 5 rally. Yeah, very, very possible. 1%. I already did that one. 89,000 shares here. Adding daily. Nick, yeah, you've been on the channel for a while now, so thank you for your support. And yeah, you're definitely up there in terms of whale status. Agreed. The U.S. policy that alcohol poison in large amounts, it's okay, impossible to die smoking too much weed. Yeah, it literally is. You'd have to smoke your body weight in like less than like an hour or something crazy. It's, again, we're not talking about, oh my God, I hate talking about U.S. politics so much. Like, I would rather eat dirt, actually, I think, than like talk about how dumb the U.S. political system. And again, love you all Americans. Love yous. Love everybody who tunes in here, because you all have a brain. You know what? Like, you know they're not that dumb, though. They're doing it for a reason. There's an ulterior motive. It's called choke point 1.0, 2.0, negative 1.0, whatever it is, 3.0, whatever they're going to come up with next. It's all government corruption and regulatory capture, right? And they're going to do this with AI. They're going to do this. There was literally a video of Mark Andreessen saying, we were thinking about starting an AI company, and they went to the Dems and started talking to them. They're like, no. We got the 3 preferred private sector public companies that we have identified. You might as well not even start a startup. So if they're doing this to AI, just imagine what they're doing, right? You wouldn't even want to know, right? And that's why I can't stand politics, is because people think they understand what's going on in the surface level. And I'm like, no. Like, everything that you see here today has been planned for decades, right? Especially when it comes to the finance world. And there's literally people who've been involved in finance for their whole life, like 50, 60 years in their professional career, who say the same thing. I think her name's like Lynette or something. I can't remember her last name. She's a big gold bug, but you know, she's like, anything that happens in the financial world has been planned for at least 2 or 3 decades. And I'm like, yes, 100%. Right? The devaluation, the debasement of the dollar was started in the 70s when they removed it from the gold standard. They knew it was going to fail. And then they created crypto to create stable coins to pop it up even more and create financial inclusion. People could just buy it on their cell phone with a stable coin. They can download a wallet, buy a US dollar, peg it to 1-to-1. Bam, you have the dollar even more popular. And people are like, what is this magic internet money bullshit? Like, it doesn't make any sense. And it's like, oh my God, you know nothing about finance. You know nothing about technology or anything about anything, really. Like, it's, people just like read a couple like Reddit forums or something and like, or they have their own judgment or opinion on it. And it's like, well, did you do 5 seconds worth of research, or maybe better yet, maybe 500 hours? Because that's what it takes to understand. Like, I do like 4 to 6 hours a day, folks, for the last 20 years. Add that up. All right, people don't want to do, people say all the time, man, can you make like a 5-minute video or less? Like, I don't got time. I'm like, well, you're not for me. Like, go to another pump and dump clickbait channel. That's not me, right? I'm here for put in the work, grinding, blood, sweat, and tears. Let's fucking change our lives together kind of thing, right? And if you're not willing to put in the work, you don't deserve the gains. It's as simple as that, right? So you'll just fail at every if you have that mindset to anything, you'll never do good at anything, right? So again, you come here not to be told what you want to hear, what you need to hear. You might not like it. I try to do it as respectfully and lovingly as possible. We'll give everybody a big hug. But you know, I'm not here to make friends, folks. That's not what I'm here for. I'm not here for views. I'm not here for clicks. I'm not here for anything. I'm here to help people and wake you the fuck up, because people are so brainwashed and asleep and just, it doesn't matter. It doesn't matter what party, well, this party, that party, what have they done in the last 4 years? What are they doing? The fact of the matter is, in the US, it's still federally illegal. It shouldn't have been on the fucking Schedule 1 for the first place. So, like, anybody who's arguing one party over another now is like completely missing the plot. You should fire them all with prejudice and never allow any of them back ever again. Every friggin' person who served since the CSA began and then enacted it, fire them. Never allowed back ever again. There's tons of people in the US. Get a new political system. Like, that's what I would do, because I can't stand any of them, right? And yes, I know there's some pro or whatever, but, you know, You can't. There's no time to cherry pick the ones who, like, there's not very many who are supportive. Let's just, it's easier to just remove them all and let other people have a turn. Anyway, I get so fired up, I can't stand it. Even in the Power Group private community, I say this all the time. I'm like, you can come on my YouTube channel. You can start your own YouTube channel. You can go on my YouTube comments. You can fight with people as much as you want on my comments, even though I manually approve them. So, whatever. But you come into my group that I created that's supposed to be respectful, and, like, I can't stand politics. So, when somebody sides with one party over another, like, I just don't see the value in that. Again, if that's what you want to do, I'm not saying don't do that. I'm just saying the Power Group private community is not the place that we do that. We also don't attack other people. We don't call each other names. We don't say condescending things or derogatory things. Like, we're respectful, right? We're here to help each other. That's the mission, is to help others get out of the rat race and make noise of this very, very complicated world. 20 days. Yeah, yeah, the shit. You should have seen the shit. It's so funny. I see Pow Group post a video about Tilray and I stop and click. Well, thank you very much, BJ. I appreciate it. Puff, puff, make money. Yeah. Oh, shit. It's almost 5 o'clock. I gotta go get my daughter here at daycare. Yeah, daycare pretty soon. Yeah, I guess I got 15 minutes, but... knowing Tilray, it'll be back down by Friday. Yeah, it's possible, right? A little bit of a sell the news, buy the rumor, sell the news kind of thing. But again, why you want to be cognizant and understanding things yourself, not just relying on mainstream media, because they're catering to the herd, right? They're catering to the dumb money, if you will. Not my term, their term. The people who are not informed is basically all it is, who are not constantly informed, right? Relying on mainstream media who, like, there's a reason why Jim Cramer, everything he says, everybody says do the opposite, right? It's because he's that person that people find entertaining but go to him for information, but by the time they get the information, it's usually too late, and he's doing the bidding of all the big corporations, right? Institutions, etc. Smash like for Rod if you're here. Appreciate it, Michael. Really appreciate all of your support, man. Can't thank you enough, and I think the world of you, brother. So just keep doing you, man. You're a fantastic human. Is this a good entrance to get into Tilray? I already have 41k shares, and I know it's still undervalued. Yeah, so I mean, obviously I can't tell you to buy, sell, or hold, but my average is around $1.40, $1.50. So if I was buying it then, I think you have your answer. 75k shares, Ron says. Rod, the best. Thank you, Peaceful. I really appreciate it. I don't think so, but I'll take the the positive reinforcement regardless. So thank you. Relax, Rod. Rod, what you smoked today? I actually didn't smoke anything today. Going to though. I actually got some Oxley. Don't hate me. And I'm cheating on Tilray today. I got some gummies from OGI, and I got the Shred'ems, and I got the new backpackers. And believe me, I was kind of like, do I get the Reddies from Redican? But these new backpackers are pretty sweet from Oxley too. And again, I'm not tribal to anything, right? Like, oh my god, it smells good though. Woo! So they're called the backpackers. It's really cool packaging, and cool thing about these is it's 0.75. Yeah, so almost like 3/4 of a gram, but really nicely done. But I'll get into that later. I'm just dying. I'm like trying not to pass out from a heat stroke here. But yeah, also having a little bit of a little beverage to celebrate, and yeah, that's pretty much it. Haven't got into any cannabis yet today. 2.3k shares. I honestly don't even remember how many shares I hold at the moment, but I know that if it goes to the price levels that I imagine and expect it to go to, I won't have anything to worry about. Question regarding your Tilray exit video. Oh, perfect. Your first Tilray target is exactly $10. Any reason not to sell a bit at 3 or 5? Thanks, just making my exit plan as well. Yeah, so Justin, like, it all has to do with your cost basis, right? If you started buying Tilray at 30 cents, well, at $3, you're up big, right? But if my average is 150 and we go to 3, I don't know what my average is exactly. It's probably like 140 or something like that. But let's just say it's 150. Then it goes to 3. For easy math, I'm only up 100%. Am I in this industry for 100% gains? No, right? I'm here for life-changing wealth. So to me, I just don't see the value in that. Yeah, hopefully that answers your question. And I keep losing my spot. Rod, I'm in HVAC tech. What is wrong with your AC? We might be able to help you figure it out. Could be something simple like a $20 capacitor. Thank you very much. I appreciate it. No, it's Sycamore style. No, it's just it had to do with like a leak or something. So I think it's like the drip tray or maybe the piping or something. I don't know. I honestly have no idea. I look like remove the tiles and I just can't see anything. So I don't know. Have to get somebody in who knows what they're doing, I guess. Even the tiles are a pain in the ass to remove them. I was like, what is going on? There was like all this electrical lines like hanging down on them, so it was like impossible to move them. And I'm like, you know, just like trying not to break the tile as well. And it's like, oh my god, why is this so difficult? Don't sell 3 and 5, you'll regret it. Everybody's gonna do whatever they want, right? Like if you bought at 30 cents, 40 cents. Selling at 3 might not be a bad idea. Maybe you want to recoup your initial investment and then invest it in something else, right? Like, everybody's got to do whatever they want to do and what's right for them, I think. All right, so we're going to jump $3 easily, 75K shares, 100.5, 50 cent options, expiring January 1st, 78K in the red. I won't stop until the wheels fall off. Let's effing go, Tilray, diamond hands. Yeah, just be careful, Ron. That's all I will say. You don't need to invest hundreds of thousands of dollars unless you have millions of dollars net worth in order to be successful in this sector. So just remember that. Oh, you were talking to Ron. Okay, I get it, Violet. You were talking to Ron. Some people call me Ron instead of Rod, and I just thought you were... I skipped to you because you were a YouTube member. But talk about how Tilray is well positioned to enter the U.S. market. Everything Trump is about to his local business. Tilray is well... Yeah, like they're not affected by tariffs. Everything's beer made here, right? Yeah, it's clear to me, right? I don't need to convince anybody else. I'm over that. I'm over that because no matter what I say, right? And I've learned this with other things like XRP and Tilray and whatever. Tesla. This happened with Tesla all the time. I was like, oh my God, buy Tesla. And people are like, no, Toyota makes more cars in a month than they make in a year. They'll never be profitable. CNBC saying they're junk. And I'm like, Tesla will be the best and the biggest out of all of them. And people didn't listen. You know, did I sell a little too early? For sure. I didn't make as much as I could. But I did what I said I was going to do. And I sold when I said I was going to sell. And then I bought crypto and I bought MJ. And I'm very confident that it's going to be way more returns than I would have got just holding Tesla, right? So what I've learned is I can talk to somebody until I'm blue in the face, which I'm red in the face right now because I'm super hot. But I could talk to them for days on end. And I know that there's nothing I can convince them with that, because they didn't invest the time researching, trying the products, listening to the reviews, interviewing the CEOs, doing research after research after research, day in, day out. Like, no one's going to put in the thousands of hours. So either you can take my word for it, and I'm even telling you, don't take my word for it because I know you haven't done the same amount of research. So what I would encourage you to do is take whatever I say with a grain of salt, go do a few hundred hours worth of research or 10 hours, whatever you deem necessary to throw a decent amount, but don't just blindly follow people on YouTube because then you're not going to stick through the hard times, right? If the stock goes down, you're going to be like, oh, that YouTuber, blame him, right? No, you hit the buy and sell button. I didn't do that, right? There's a reason why I didn't become a financial advisor because I said it's stressful enough managing my own money. So anybody listening to me, if you bought or sold any stock, it's nobody else's fault but your own. And the second you realize that, the better off you'll be, right? And the second you start to realize that, again, like there's not that many people on the planet that know that much about MJ, that much about these companies. You could easily dedicate a few hours a day and probably be in the, like the 1 percentile of people who know the most about this sector, right? And then who are you to go to other people for advice? You'd be like, screw you, like you should be coming to me. Like, I've done this for 3 or 4 hours a day for the last 10, 15, 20 years, 3 years, whatever it is, right? Let's go, Tilly. We got Jam in the house. How you doing? Hell, even my 450-01-2026 are acting like a phoenix. Yeah, rising from the ashes. Your calls? Yeah. Well, that's great. Like, wishing I don't play in the options market, to be honest. For me, it's like if I'm in crypto and I'm in MJ, I'm looking at like 1000x gains, right? You're looking at like 100, like 10 to 20, 50 to 100x, right? To even like 10,000% gains. Why you gotta introduce, like, again, everybody do what you gotta do, but why introduce leverage? And like, it's one thing to be doing a little bit of short-term trading with like $50 or $100 or a couple $100, but if I'm gonna be putting in my hard-earned money, like a big stack of it, I'm just gonna buy the lows and I'm gonna sell the highs. And yeah, I can't. The options world is it's very, very difficult to predict time, and that's basically all it is. So if you're doing options, just please make sure you know what you're doing and don't invest any more than you're willing to lose. Things are looking good, bright. My two main stocks, Tilray and Oxy. Let's rock. You bet. Tip of your fingers, God seers. Tilray will make a rich man. 5,000 shares paid with covered calls. Just re-echoing what I just said. PT for Tilray in a year. Price target. Oh yeah. I mean, there's so many catalysts, right? Who knows? I can see it easily back up at $10. Let's go Tilray. Same here. Ron, is Tilray keep gaining momentum? Ron, it's Tilray that keeps gaining momentum. Your channel will blow up. I think you meant Rod, but yeah, it's I've been covering this sector long before Tilray, right? I was covering this sector in the Hexo early days, and I said when Tilray acquired Hexo, I said Tilray just acquired the best MJ company on the planet, and a lot of that had to do with Redecan, and now we're starting to understand why, right? I think Redecan itself was worth probably a couple $1 billion, and yeah. I wasn't even that interested in Tilray until they acquired Hexo and Redecan. As soon as they acquired Hexo and Redecan, and I knew that it was Tilray, Afria, Hexo, and Redecan, I was like, okay, game over. Checkmate. How do I find Tilray to buy? Just go to TSX or the Nasdaq. How to find Tilray to buy? TLRY, ticker symbol. Just got a booking on my Airbnb here. Last minute booking. Weird. I'm all booked up. How do I have a last minute booking? Anyways. Okay, I'm going to go through quicker here. Long term, Tilray SNDL. Nice. Yeah, SNDL, I think I own it in my portfolio. It's not a huge part, but just waiting to see what pans out in the US. Invest, learn, search. It's not coming up. Yeah, I mean, you'll just have to do some Googling, Cali Dad, man. You can't miss it. It's like the most volume stock. Any chance Tilray would acquire Stores and Bickle from CGC if Stores and Bickle is number 1 and Vaporize who is number 2? What is it, like PAX or something like that? Probably be right there, but no, I don't think that's really like Tilray's wheelhouse, right? Tilray's in the business of brands and manufacturing. They're not into like distribution and like retail. I don't really think that would fit their business model, to be honest. Can't see that happening. You can see them acquiring some of the assets of some of the Canadian brands, though. If we get Schedule 3, can Tilray sell medical MJ in the USA? I believe so. We'll see what happens. Pal, good to see you too. I'm from the UK and I get some Tilray strains of medical. It's cheap and okay. Yeah, you should still be able to buy them on the Nasdaq though. Don't quote me on that, but I'm pretty sure. Like, we've got people from Denmark in our community, and they just have to buy Nasdaq listed names. So just check with your broker, whoever you buy stocks with. Just check with them. When would be a good time to sell? Check out my Tilray. Just type in PAL Group Tilray exit, and it'll come up, and that's my exit plan. I can't really tell you anything else other than that. That's my plan. Take it as you wish. Get the likes up. When do you see Tilray hitting $10, your first price target? Like I said, hard to say. It all depends on the catalyst, right? But I think 2026, good chance. Maybe even by the end of this year, if we get safer banking push, maybe even attempt to rescheduling announcement. It's hard to say, right? That's why I don't like options. I don't like to factor in time. I'd rather just do the research, know what I hold, and wait. And that's the hardest part for people, is waiting. We live in an instant gratification world. But, you know, I've been holding XRP for like 7 years, and I bought it. My lowest that I bought it was like below 20 cents, and here we are at a $3. And people are wondering, you know, should I sell soon? I'm like, dude, I've been holding since 20 cents and it's at $3, and I'm not selling anytime soon. So again, you have to know what you hold. You have to know where we're going. And again, you're not going to know all this just by watching 1 or 2 videos, listen to 1 or 2 influencers, listen to, you know, an hour or 2. Like, you really have to understand the industry. Where's the industry going? Where are we at, right? Are we in the 5th inning? Are we in the 4th inning? Are we in the pregame warm-ups? And I would say in MJ, we just started the pregame warm-ups. Like, we're not even halfway through the warm-up, right? 95% of the sector growth is still yet to be achieved. So why would you even contemplate selling anytime soon? Unless it's just to recoup an initial investment and then potentially put that to work somewhere else. That's all I'm doing. Registered Libertarian here. State has 32K registered. If we get Schedule 3, can Tilray sell? I think I already read. Did you post it twice? Yeah, I'm pretty sure they can. I feel that my HVAC system kicked it for 3 months in Louisiana. Average 90 to 95 Fahrenheit in my house, and then 3 straight months. Hope you get it fixed soon. Wouldn't wish that on my worst enemy. Well, funny thing is, like a couple weeks ago, it was like 12 degrees Celsius, whatever that is, Fahrenheit. But it was pretty cold. And then as soon as my AC stops working, it's like, oh, okay, heat wave. Great, perfect. Is MedBed still a viable option to enter the U.S. as a vehicle? Yes, so I mentioned that in my Tilray interview, but it's only upon federal legalization, to my knowledge. But they did say that they might acquire a company if Schedule 3 happens and we get that progress in the U.S. Which company is going to be bought out first in the U.S. by big alcohol? Any guesses? Great question, Jam. Yeah, I don't know. I would say Curaleaf for sure, actually, because they have the biggest international footprint. They're very, very similar to like a Canadian operator. They also operate in Canada under a legal framework with Northern Green Canada. So what better company to own in the U.S. than a U.S. operator that's operated in the U.S. and also knows how to operate in a legal framework in Canada that's been legal at the recreational level. So, yeah, I would say, again, there's not even a close second. It's Tilray and the Curaleaf show for me. Sorry, there's not even a close third, but, you know, Oxy's got to be right up there. OGI, VFF, SNDL, but very, very different businesses at the end of the day. Toronto's cold today. I wish it was cold here. Montreal cold too. You're not too far away. You just covered the HVAC comment based on your description of the unit regarding the ceiling tiles. I assume you have a ductless split system. They always leak on the connections. Yeah, that's probably correct. I'm in a condo, so. Time range prediction for $10. Again, it's the MJ industry, right? We've been beaten down for 4 years. It could happen in a couple months if we get the right kind of catalyst string together. So, again, I think we need to get away from the time prediction. And I think the reason why you're saying the time prediction is because you've already alluded to the fact that you're looking at calls and options. So that makes sense as to why you want to know the timing on things. But like, I'm not in the business of predicting time. I just, it's impossible, right? And like, I've done it so many times and I've been right about it like maybe 20% of the time, but there's just so many variables that go into it. And like, there's quad witching, there's just like burning of all the premium, and like options are a completely different beast. So yeah, I try to stay away from the time predictions, because a lot of people, they predict things and it doesn't come to fruition for like way long after, and then some people say that this price can't be achieved for this amount of time, then it happens way sooner. So there's just no telling, right? Especially in this industry, in MJ and crypto, when things are beaten down this long for like this much, it could happen in a matter of weeks, right? Just given enough momentum and catalysts. So just need flare, tight fittings, thick leak-proof washers. Yeah, I think it's probably something simple, but we'll see. Thank you very much for your help, though. Tilray Brands is actually a Freya 3.0. Freya acquired them in the reverse merger. Most people don't think about it. Yeah, and they kept the Tilray brand. I remember that. And Freya was only one of the only names in 2021 at all-time highs, I believe. But what does that tell you? Right? Like, Freya was like the crown jewel, and then Tilray acquired them, and then they chose to keep the Tilray name, right? Why would they do that if Tilray wasn't valuable? And Tilray's backed by Peter Thiel, and you know, just watch the Founders Fund video that I made. Wisdom and experience requires time. Yeah, exactly. But yeah, it's the writing's on the wall, folks. It's the Tilray, Freya, or maybe we'll say a Freya, Tilray, Hexo, Redican show. And there's not even a close second in Canada. I'm sorry. I love all the other producers that I've, invested in, but I'm going to call a spade here, and y'all got nothing on the king here. The queen, whatever you want to call it. But the only other one is Curaleaf. I would say Curaleaf may have the upper hand. Maybe. I would say it's a tight race. It'd probably be a millisecond at the finish line when it's all said and done. But again, would want nothing more than a Tilray and a Curaleaf merger when it's all said and done. And after the blue chip phase, when the U.S. legalizes, very well could be a reality. So we'll be covering it. Again, as long as I'm on this planet, breathing air, I'll be covering this industry. I'll be making videos. So yeah. Just time will be the biggest convincer of all. I always say that. So thank you very much, everybody. And very historic day. Obviously, it can happen again. It can always go below $1 again for, 30 days or whatever it is. You could drop below $1 and then recover. So there's always going to be some manipulation. But again, that's why you want to buy things and know what you hold and understand, like, expand your horizons, your time frame. Know what you hold, know what you're here for, know where this industry is going, and yeah, just have realistic expectations is the biggest takeaway that I can leave you with today. So thank you very much for everybody and all of your support. Thank you very much for tuning in. I really do appreciate it. And like I said, I was just going to do a video, like a 5-10 minute video, just going over the news, but it's much funner. Like, it's much more fun coming on here and hanging out with everybody and having a little bit of a celebratory drink, and we'll jump into a bit of a spliff here in a little bit after I get my daughter from daycare. But yeah, very exciting day, and like I said, it's bittersweet because we've been this beaten down, and we knew that Tilray had no business being at 30-40 cents. And again, I mentioned this in my video today with Decibel and their CEO. Like, price is such a bad indication of the health of a company, but a lot of CEOs and management, they hate when their stock price is low, obviously, rightly so. But when you're in MJ, when you're in crypto, there's so much manipulation. Like, look what happened to Amazon in 2001 after the dot-com crash. It crashed 95%, and it wasn't selling Schedule 1 illegal drugs in the US. And they're messing with people this bad in MJ, it has to be expected, right? And yeah, you can't, no one person can take that on themselves, right? No investor, no CEO, no founder, no executive, no staff member of any MJ company. It's not you, it's the government, it's regulatory capture, it's corruption, and it's basically disregarding the will of the people. And it's happened since the dawn of time. It's happened. It will continue to happen. Unfortunately, it is what it is. So we have to learn how the game is played and then play by the rules of the people who make the rules. And unfortunately, that is not retail. So this is a retail-focused channel, and it will continue to remain that way. And yeah, just anytime anybody needs anything, just reach out. I know it's not easy. I know there's a lot of people that probably sold Tilray waiting for a reverse split. I made a joking post about it saying, hey, how's that going for you? But again, I'm not here to tell you what you want to hear. I'm here to tell you what you need to hear. And I'm hoping that somewhere along the line, this starts to resonate with you. So with that, thank you very much. Have a great night. It's Rod with Pow Group. Appreciate you joining us on the Pursuit of Wealth again. And we'll see you on the next exciting Tilray update video. Take care. Just realized I hit the wrong button and went to the live scene there. So a little bit of a blooper for you at the end. Don't do that too often. All right. Have a great night, everybody. Much love.